57. That's how many people have disappeared from the park I work in. Not missing and found. Not lost and rescued. Gone. No body. No trace. No explanation that makes any sense to anyone who was actually there when it happened. 57 people in 22 years. And every single time I wrote the same word on the report. Accidental. I'm going to tell you something that my supervisor would fire me for. Something that 3 other rangers I know have lost sleep over for years. Something that the National Park Service's official website will never ever publish. The official missing persons numbers for America's national parks are wrong. Not slightly wrong, not rounding error wrong. Catastrophically, deliberately, systematically wrong. Over 1,600 people go missing in national parks every single year. Most of them are never found, and the ones who are found, sometimes you almost wish they hadn't been. This is what I know, and I'm done staying quiet about it. Level 1. The first time I want to take you back to my 3rd year on the job. His name was Marcus Webb, 41 years old, experienced hiker, former Marine, the kind of guy who had done this trail 17 times before, knew it like the back of his hand. He signed in at the trailhead at 8:14 a.m. on a Saturday morning in September. By 4 p.m. he hadn't returned. By 6 p.m. we started the search. By Sunday morning we had 40 rangers, 2 helicopters, and 3 K9 units covering every inch of that trail. We found nothing. Not his pack, not his boots, not a single footprint past the 2-mile mark. A Marine. 17 times on that trail. Vanished in 8 hours. But here's the thing that still keeps me awake at 2 a.m. 12 years later. The K9 units tracked his scent to a specific point. A clearing about 2 miles in, near a creek bed. And then the scent just stopped. Not faded. Not diverted. Stopped. Like Marcus Webb ceased to exist at a specific GPS coordinate in the middle of a forest in broad daylight. I've talked to other rangers across different parks, Yellowstone, Great Smoky Mountains, Olympic, Yosemite. Every single one of them has a version of the Marcus Webb story. A hiker who was experienced, a trail that was familiar, a disappearance that makes zero logical sense, and a search dog that hit a wall of nothing and just sat down. That's not a coincidence. That's a pattern. And patterns don't scare me. What scares me is who's been watching this pattern and choosing not to act on it. Level 2. What we don't report. Let me tell you how a national park missing persons report actually works. When someone goes missing, we have a checklist. We follow it. At the end of that checklist, regardless of what we found or didn't find, we assign a cause code. Lost, injured, medical, accidental. There's no code for we searched for 9 days and found absolutely nothing and can't explain it. There's no code for the dogs lost the scent in a place where that should be physically impossible. There is no code for we found the campsite perfectly intact, food still on the camp stove, boots still by the tent, car keys still hanging on the tent zipper, but no person. So we use the closest code that fits. And we close the report. I have personally signed my name to 11 reports in my career where I chose a cause code that I did not believe. 11 times I wrote accidental or lost and knew, in the part of my brain I can't shut off, that those words were not the truth. Because here's what the public doesn't know. National park rangers are not required to report missing persons to the FBI. We are not required to cross-reference cases across park systems. There's no national database that connects a disappearance in the Smoky Mountains in 2019 to a disappearance in Olympic National Park in 2021 that happened under identical circumstances. Nobody is connecting the dots. Nobody is supposed to. 3 rangers I know tried to connect those dots on their own time. 2 of them no longer work for the Park Service. 1 of them won't talk about why he left. Level 3. What I've seen. I need to tell you about the ones we found. Because the missing get all the attention. The news stories, the Facebook groups, the Reddit threads. But nobody talks about the ones who came back. In 2017, a 7-year-old girl went missing in a heavily searched area of the Appalachian Trail. 200 searchers. National coverage. She was gone for 3 days. We found her 3 miles outside the search perimeter, in a direction we had already cleared, sitting completely calmly on a rock, physically unharmed. But she wouldn't speak for 6 weeks after. When she finally did, the only thing she told her mother was, "The tall man said I had to stay there until you found me." We searched for a tall man. For weeks. Nobody was ever found. In 2019, an adult male hiker turned up at a ranger station 72 miles from where he went missing. He had been gone for 9 days. He had no memory of any of it. No dehydration, no weight loss. No physical deterioration consistent with 9 days of exposure. 9 days. 72 miles. Perfectly healthy. Where was he? I don't know. And that answer, I don't know, is the most honest thing I've said in 22 years of wearing this uniform. Level 4, the truth. I'm retiring in 8 months. I've stayed in this job 22 years because I love these parks. I love this land. I believe in protecting it. But I'm done pretending I have all the answers. America has 63 national parks, over 300 million acres of protected wilderness. Most of it has never been fully mapped. Most of it has no cell service, no cameras, no witnesses. When something happens out there, and things happen out there that I cannot explain, the silence is the only thing that's infinite. So the next time you lace up your hiking boots and head into one of the most beautiful places on this earth, know that the ranger at the trailhead smiling and handing you a map, he knows things about those woods that aren't on it. He's just learned, like all of us have, that some truths are heavier than the silence that buries them. Stay on the trail. Tell someone where you're going. And if the dogs ever stop and just sit down, start running.